Oh, where we at? We love it. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, T-Side. Pow! Ha! Sensei Kwabin here. Moment with the master. We had to set it up, family. This is quintessential moment with the master. We at number 25. 25, moment with the master. Us. We done went in, done had our fit, fight, protect event, excelled there, showcased, emerged, came out, right? Stepped on a new branch, if you will. Today's moment with the master. Elevate the energy. Today's moment with the master. Elevate the energy. Right? Yes, you got to stay with the moment. What's happening here today? Now, yesterday it was the Fit, Fight, Protect event. Boom, but we back in the dojo today. Yes, that was a breakthrough. Boom, but we back in the dojo today. Did we elevate the energy? We did. Y'all hear my voice? I think I'm a little bit raspy, right? Right? You can't lose with elevating energy. You can't lose. We reinforce. We get reinvigorated, re-energized for the next stage and the next step. We emerged. Success. Yes, that's enough. Sufficient. Let's use it as a stepping stone for the next game. Let's just use it as a stepping stone for the next game. I got a charge to keep. I got the assignment. Got to work. Move with work to make a fusion out of Dominion Dojo and become the protected. Self-defense and martial arts. It's a work. It's coming. It's a work in progress. Right? We're going to soar. So the target is with elevated energy. We're going to get into it. It's excellent. With elevated energy, our target is to soar. Right? Soar in our energy. Soar in our attitude. Soar in our confidence. Soar even in our outcomes. Right? With elevated energy, we get into a movement of what we call flow. Flowing through our intended efforts. Ha! Where are we at with it? See. Ha! Ha! Flowing through our intended efforts. Flowing seamlessly. Right? And so, any real success, we say, has to be infused with what I'm going to call elevated energy. So what am I talking about? Sensei Kwabin, you're saying elevated energy. What do you mean? You mean taking the energy drink so that you can have a little bit more energy to go in and your workouts? Sensei Kwabin? Ha! Elevated energy for doing the work you do at your job, at your profession, at your career. What do you mean elevated energy? I'm talking about the intrinsic energy of what we bring to life in any situation. Now, why is this important? Hold up a minute. The energy that we bring to life is a force momentum. It is an element of the force that we are able to give that gives the push to anything that we're doing, that we're able to move it to completion, move it through stages of growth, move it through stages of development, move it through phases of implementation even. Energy, elevated energy. Because we find that a lot of times what happens with us is we get sidetracked, right? We step over things, stumbling blocks, right? We heard turn your stumbling blocks into stepping stones, but what type of energy do we need to do that, to make that happen? We're faced with life challenges. We're faced with things that cause us despair, concern, right? We get discouraged and we go into a bed of inactivity as a result of that. Possibly elevate the energy. Dominion Dojo is funny. I was looking back at our first moments with the master. This is number 25, right? Excellent. But number 1, I was like, this is Sensei Kwabin of Dominion Dojo. Pop, let's talk about this, right? Move it to Shisa, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Shisa, pow! Sensei Kwabin here. We went from a pop to a pow. Elevated the energy. elevated the energy. And what happens is that energy push like a train, and people start to attack or attach, I meant to say, to the energy. They attach to the energy that we bring to whatever we're dealing with, whatever we're working with, whatever we're putting out, whatever we're investing. That energy brings returns, and it is reciprocated. It is reciprocated by those who are encountering us in an elevated energy mindset. Now, what happens with elevated energy? Here's exactly what happens. Okay? Elevated energy translates into an elevated mindset. How is that possible? Well, we are dealing with some challenges, constraints, difficulties, right? That require a solution, that require us to work it out, that require a new calculus for different outcomes. Because the outcomes we have been getting, they're not acceptable. They're not what we want. They're not what we aspire to have, right? And so in order to get over those difficulties, in order to get over those hurdles, right? In order to erase out the noise, we elevate the energy that transforms our mindset, right? Just the energy. I'm going to do this differently. Here's the battery of elevated energy. It's the mindset that transforms you into, it says, I can, I will. I can, I will. Now that's a determination. That is a result of a determination. I call it, in some respects, I call it deterministic thinking. I'm going to determine at least what direction I'm going in. I'm going to determine how I'm going to show up. I'm going to determine what energy I have when I go there. I'm going to determine, even to some degree, how I am going to be received. To some degree, I'm going to determine. I'm going to determine it in advance. Now, again, visioning. Visioning comes into play, but it doesn't even have to go that far. Just elevate the energy. Elevate the energy over the problem, elevate the energy over the circumstances, and some transformative things happen. Some transformative things happen. One thing that happens is little stuff, casual stuff, simplistic stuff starts to detach from you, like barnacles. They just come off. You gotta come off. You can't attach to me. You can't touch this. You can't touch this, right? I like the lyrics that Eminem said. You know, I just like it. He says, you gotta lose yourself in the moment. You own it. You can't never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow, because opportunity only comes once in a lifetime. You gotta move on it. That might not be exactly, but that's generally, you gotta move on it. You gotta lose yourself in the moment and the opportunity to elevate the energy in whatever you're doing. It might be a program. It might be a project. It might be an operation. It might be an enterprise. Elevate your energy. You got to elevate the energy in order to see it surpass what you have anticipated. We're going to go some dark skies before we can take off. We're going to go through some clouds before we can take off. We're going to have to go through some deep waters before we can take off. Okay? We're going to have to go through some rough bush before we can take off running. Okay? Elevate the energy. Because then you rise up above. Chisai, you rise up above. You rise up above. Elevated energy. You rise up above. Ha! Right? You tower over it. And you can see different things with elevated energy. Your vision becomes clearer with elevated energy. So you elevate the energy in the midst of everything that's happening. Elevate the energy. Energy is deterministic and helps us to do many different things. For one, it helps us to communicate who we are in ways that words cannot. All right? It helps us, elevated energy helps us communicate. Right? How many times have you showed up, or someone you know showed up, and we just showed up on the scene and we came with the energy dynamic that we bring wherever we go? I'm here. Right? Doesn't have to be a self-centered, conceited I'm here type thing, but I am here. I'm showing up with all of who I am. And it is a draw. It is the law of attraction that attaches itself to the elevated energy that causes us to get responses from people and responses to situation, because there's a universal truth working at here. There is a universal truth that happens with elevated energy. Okay? When operating in elevated energy, it clears the path of simple obstacles and simple-minded people. Right? When you are walking in elevated energy, there are just some things that do not agree. They're not in alignment. And what you will see is that as you move through the world, there's some things and people that just will not gravitate towards you, or they will not retain, they will not keep their place in your orbit, or they will not be able to survive with the energy level that they are putting or trying to attach to you with. It will be incongruent. It will be misaligned. It will be differentiated. That happens with us, with people sometimes, and we have to respect each other, love ourselves, and love each other to know when that incongruency becomes so deep that we have to make a shift. So deep that we have to make a move. So deep that we have to make another determination to put ourselves in position to reach the goals that we are looking to push forward to reach. Elevated energy. Elevated energy. So I have a charge to push, to motivate, to inspire, to invite, to draw, to emulate, to project, to invest elevated energy into all that I do now. Ha! Elevated energy. Ha! Elevated. Ha! Now, if you can come along, beautiful. Welcome. Let's do it. Lock arms, lock elbows. Let's do it. If not, then we might need to reset, redetermine how exactly we interact and engage, because this focus has to be number one. This focus has to be priority. The movement has to be to get to that gain, to fulfill all that while I'm here, right? That period of time between my beginning and my end, that I'm fulfilling that and actualizing it in the most magnificent way possible, in the most dynamic way possible. Elevated energy. So from this point forward, I want to carry with elevated energy into all that I do, as much as possible. Setback may come. Elevate the energy again. Elevate it over the setback. Okay, so I want to leave you with 5 benefits. Ha! 5, wait, that's 10. 5 benefits of elevated energy. 5 benefits of elevated energy. Number 1, elevated energy dispels doubt that we have about ourselves and the world around us. Ha! What's possible? Dominion Dojo, we say that what? We say anything is possible. It dispels doubt about ourselves and the world about us. Ha! Number 2, elevated energy is a mental hack that keeps us guarded from negative affirmations. Let me tell you something, family. We're coming down to the end. Negative affirmations are absolutely the things that keep us from reaching and realizing our goals and dreams. It's the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves, not even about other people. It's the stories we tell ourselves. Elevated energy guards us. It's a mental hack that guards us from negative affirmations. Beautiful. Number 3, and I spoke on this a moment ago. It's a little bit of a reaffirmation, but negative energy helps us distance ourselves from naysayers, people who really can't align with us in the energy, and unbelievers. That's what it does. All right? It helps us to position ourselves in that way. Number 4, it cultivates a positive growth energy environment. Elevated energy. I love to be in that type of space, that type of continuum, that type of room, that type of agency where there is elevated energy around people, or a team of people who are in alignment on moving forward in a way, in a goal. Look at NBA championships. Elevated energy. People who focus and show up giving the best of who they are as a group. Elevated energy. And alignment is a powerhouse. It's a powerhouse. And here is the powerhouse equation. Elevated energy that operates under the law of attraction is a force multiplier. It's a force multiplier. So those teams of people you see, if you can get alignment on what the dream, the goal is, in a casement, in a form, in a container of elevated energy, it is a force multiplier. That's why I believe that the scripture says that wherever 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst. Or what's the other one? You know, that 2 get a better return than 1 or anything like that, right? Better 2 than 1. Elevated energy and force multiplication. We carry it individually, but how much more dynamic is it when we carry it in a team environment or group environment or coupled environment? It works. Okay, and the last one, let me say this, and then we're off, Sensei Kwabin here. Moment with a master number 25, elevated energy. The last thing is this. Elevated energy is going to be an effective response when things do not go as planned. When things go, they chip off the side. They fall off the side of the table. They don't go as planned. When things fall out, the bottom falls out. It's not going as planned. You didn't meet the targets, the goals, the elements, the intentions. It's not going as planned. Elevate the energy. Elevate the energy at that point so that you can move forward and springboard from what may seem to have been a setback. Because maybe all we need is that additional step, that additional push, that additional pull out of ourselves to realize what we had intended from the very beginning. Elevated energy. So we're going to use elevated energy. We're going to carry forward elevated energy. Yeah, there's some clouds. They're there. They're pushed through the clouds, push through the pitfalls, push through the speed bumps, push through the noise, push through the pollution in your environment with elevated energy. And I guarantee you will see outcomes that are better than you can ever have imagined. Elevated energy. This is Sensei Kwabin. Listen, I hope that there was something here that you could take from, energize, be encouraged about, or even just being informed. We're elevating energy here at Dominion Dojo, and we invite you to come down and experience elevated energy with us. This is Sensei Kwabin. This has been Moment with the Master number what? Number 25. Yes! Let's keep it going. As you already know, this is Sensei Kwabin, and I'm out of here. Ha! Us!